Good morning. Wanted to share some of my crazy thoughts. I have to remember anyone that listens that I'm not a doctor or a specialist. I'm not trying to sell any books or change your mind or convince you of anything. This one is about cortisol. I was thinking about it. Often people say cortisol is the stress hormone. Not really. The stress hormone is adrenaline. Adrenaline will kick in to make you fight or flee. Yes, it will keep you alive. It's adrenaline, but adrenaline has consequences. Too much adrenaline will kill you. So, cortisol exists. Cortisol is what will disable adrenaline. Cortisol is like a mediator. It will enter the picture. Oh, calm down. Your job is done. You can relax and go back to sleep. That's cortisol. You know, often, the world, especially the Western world, is running on cortisol. Everybody is running on cortisol, causing you to age a lot faster. It is very, tiring for the body to be in a constant fight or flight, and then cortisol sets in. So cortisol is a very heavy hormone. And cortisol, has this effect of signaling your system to store fat, even though you don't need it. Store fat. This is probably an emergency. Store fat, you were in an accident. You were in a fight. You got, a broken limb. You got, you bled. You gained, some infection. So cortisol signs to the body, stock fat immediately because it's going to be a period there. You're not going to be able to hunt, to move. You're going to stay in bed, and that fat will keep you alive, you know. So there could be people who go on a very healthy diet, they exercise, they do everything, by the books, but still they have a beer belly. This, what do they call it? Visceral fat around the belly, and they can't get rid of it. That's the cortisol fat, actually. Yeah. It's mainly people, who live very stressful lives. The other hormone, what's it called again? Insulin is also one of those misunderstood. Some people call it the bad guy. It's not the bad guy. Insulin is a mediator, it saves your life, right? But your cells can become resistant to insulin if there's too much insulin in the body. Insulin is a response. Yeah, it's a response to, for instance, when you eat too much seed oils, when you eat too much sugar or fermented sugar like alcohol, you get a fat liver disease because of that. And with the fructose and the seed oils, you will get lots of polysaturated, fats. Those polysaturated fats, they don't leave the body. They are like manure that just get stick to the cells and get stick to the veins. So the cells kind of close. I don't want any more polysaturated shit. And they associate it with insulin because insulin is always there trying to do their job. So you become either deficient in some people. They call a type of diabetes. I don't know which one. When you don't have enough insulin, well, maybe you should think about going carnivore in that situation. You don't need insulin at all. But if it's the other way around, it's probably because you have too much polysaturated or fermented fructose in your system, and you need binary saturated fats, from animals, and you need to go on fasting, to get rid of all those, polysaturated, manure. Polysaturated manure, comes in alcohol, but later we kind of started separating the oil from the seeds at high temperatures, and we created another type of polysaturated stuff, commonly commonly comes in margarines, in seed oils, what they call vegetable oil. It's not vegetable, it's seed oil. They changed the name, because it sounds more marketing, more marketing. And so insulin and cortisol, are considered the bad guys. They are not the bad guys. They're trying to save you, you know. So too much cortisol will make you age faster, you know. The cells will get privated from nutrients and minerals. Without insulin, for instance, the body will expel most of the things you eat. The liver, and the pancreas will um, signal the body to gather what it's needed. But if you have issues with the liver, for instance, a fatty liver, or a diseased pancreas, you will become very thin, very malnourished, because even though you are eating everything, you know, insulin is not giving the signs to the intestines, for instance, to retain nutrients and minerals. So your cells will starve, your hair will fall, But don't go into the why the hair falls. It's a reaction to age. Yeah, some things, just can't be avoided. In men, age and testosterone, too much testosterone or simply testosterone. Have you noticed why monks are bald? Too much testosterone. Yeah, they practice celibacy, so too much testosterone makes them go bald. Yeah. Anyway, growing bald is a sign of wisdom. Absolutely. Wisdom. So, are you saying testosterone is the hormone of the wise? Testosterone by itself, you know, is not what makes you wise. There has to be a balance of other things. Often, people who are criminals and capable of the most horrendous crimes have an imbalancement in nutrients and minerals, you know. And the specialists, they go about and they say, oh, look, it's testosterone. No, it's not. It's not testosterone. Yeah, he has high levels of testosterone, but it's not the cause. No, it's actually the absence of something else. The absence of all those nutrients and minerals that regulate your mood, such as selenium, you know, it regulates your mood. Fat, selenium, and others. I can't remember everything. I haven't taken any notes. Um, Modern science, they actually developed what they call mood disruptors or mood regulators. All of these chemicals that they concoction in laboratory ever since the Second World War and eugenics, they are called mood disruptors. They will unbalance your body. They will blame it on testosterone and other things. No, that's called gaslighting. It's almost like there's this silent chemical war being waged on humanity to try to to mold humans into units of production. They are using all sorts of chemicals. They want to turn everybody into a robot, basically. That's what the eugenics, later called genetics program, is all about. They want robots. It's the transhumanist paradigm. Another thing that is not spoken is frequencies. The frequencies also are mood disruptors, especially mind disruptors. These frequencies that are being bombarded into the atmosphere. It disrupts the mind, the soul. Every time they roll out another advancement in this technology, millions just disappear because their bodies are not adapting to these crazy frequencies, and the most fragile will succumb. They call it the influenza. For more information, read the book, The Invisible Rainbow. Okay, I think I'm gonna shut up now. Have a nice day.